as always said, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
I guess I'm going to go with the all of the 100 millionaires from the LIV Golf Tour that are now all of a sudden PGA back on the PGA Tour with some heavy pockets.
Dude, when that dropped, I was doing radio on Sirius XM. I was like, oh my, because you and I would consider us we're not huge golf guys. We're not following it as closely as some guys do, but you and we really enjoy watching golf.
Yeah.
And it felt like something like this would maybe happen in the future once everything settled down. But for it to happen now, whoa. Well,
Yeah.
I was stunned.
It felt like, I mean, you could tell the tide was turning, right? Because Rory had really softened his stance lately. And, you'd heard a couple of people hint that maybe they should, possibly find a way to work together on those guys playing in majors and stuff. But I did not see this happening. Why? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because of the public shaming campaign that the PGA put the LIV Golf players through, the LIV Golf funding, the blood money, the cowards, the morally bankrupt players that left the PGA to go play for the LIV Golf Tour, and then we'll merge. Wow.
There's so many things to discuss with this. And if you're living under a rock, LIV Golf, or I guess it's the Saudi Arabian government is what it is, but it's their investment fund. It's called the PIF, the Public Investment Fund, and they own LIV Golf. And LIV Golf, the PGA Tour, and the DP World Tour, which is the European Tour, are all now under the same umbrella of an unnamed entity that is going to be bankrolled by the Public Investment Fund, right? So Saudi Arabia. That is basically the way that I see it. And I saw what Jay Monahan said about the structure and how the PGA Tour is still going to control things, and the board of the big entity, like the PGA Tour, is supposed to have a majority of seats on it, all that stuff. Man, they bought Pro Golf. That's what they did.
Yeah.
They know what they bought, and you may think you're in control, but you're not.
You're in control because they're allowing you to be in control.
Yeah. As soon as they don't like what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I don't know. If the players don't show up to his house with pitchforks by the end of this evening, that's apparently, well, it sounds like everyone kind of heard about it at the same time. Like if you weren't in the room whenever the deal was brokered, you didn't know. That's players, that's media, that's everyone. So like most guys were finding out as journalists were calling to get their reaction.
Yeah. On both sides. LIV guys didn't know. I saw something that Greg Norman didn't know till he got a call right before it got announced publicly. So there were a handful of people in a room getting this deal done, and none of them were the players. And those are the guys that drive this whole thing. And that's how Jay Monahan, I wonder what the contract looks like that he signed, because all these players have to hate him. You mentioned how we vilified all the LIV guys, right? Just destroyed them publicly. Remember when we brought up 9/11 and that whole thing in that interview with Jim Nantz?
Blood money. Yeah. That's right.
I mean, he put that on those LIV Golf guys. I mean, just destroyed them publicly. And on the other side, he told the PGA Tour guys, like, hey, do what's right. Yeah, make sure. Hey, what's the moral thing to do? Be loyal. The history of the tour and of the game, like, don't take that money and then, I mean, guys turn down huge amounts of money to stay loyal and do the right thing. And then, a year later, he says, yeah, no, we're all in this together now, guys. Sorry about that.
I hate to say it, but Tiger Woods is the biggest loser. They would have gave him $1 billion and he could have played like a handful of live events and now be right back where he was sitting originally.
I know that a lot of people see there's a lot being made, like Ricky Fowler. They offered him, I think the figure I saw was 75 million. Turned it down. That's rough.
Never earned that again.
Hey, whatever the figure was for Tiger Woods, it's still on the table. He's Tiger Woods.
Yeah,
he's Tiger Woods. If Tiger Woods wants it, I'm sure Live Golf would be like, absolutely, Tiger, let's do it.
Yeah, and here's the thing: like, I saw some of this out there that, well, Liv was really struggling, and the PGA.
They weren't struggling in Tulsa.
What? They're not struggling. Do people realize that Saudi Arabia is floating on cash? Like, you probably can't even put a number to what that public investment fund is worth. The number probably doesn't even exist. And it will keep coming forever. Like, there is no stop to it. They can throw away billions of dollars and never even notice.
I cannot wait for more details to come out about how this thing came together.
I know.
I mean, because there were all the lawsuits, right? There was all the litigation with this partnership. I guess it's technically not a merger. I don't even know what you call it, but
I don't either.
It's honestly, it's a takeover. Is what it is. But all of those go away. All the litigation goes away, right? Yeah. And somehow the PGA Tour keeps its tax exempt status in the process, which that's what I want to know is what the DOJ was looking at all that, right? Because that was part of, when Live Golf was suing them for the antitrust stuff and all like that became a piece of it. I want to know what they found. And I want to know how big of a piece did that play in the PGA Tour going, okay, we're doing this deal. Let's go. We got to move. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows anything right now. That's the crazy thing. And details, I'm sure, are going to trickle out. The players are going to drag Monahan up in front of the group and tell them what's going on. He's not going to survive this, is he? There's no way.
The only way he survives it, and remember, he did this without talking to any of the players who are what drive the tour. Unless he's got something in place, which I've got a feeling he does. I bet you he has something signed with the Saudis. Like, hey, if I do this, I'm going to be the most hated dude ever. I need certain assurances.
I need some blood money.
I need, all that money you wanted to give the guys that I told them not to take. I want all of it. That's probably what he did.
That's crazy.
How that guy who all the players they're going to hate him for one reason or another. How that guy is supposed to be in charge of growing and leading professional golf into this new frontier. I don't know how that works. It can't work, right? Like, there's no way.
I don't know how any of it works anyways.
Yeah, what's it going to look like?
I don't know what it looks like beforehand. How can the PGA Tour be a tax exempt nonprofit. It's anything but. This is not a, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't even have the basis of knowledge of how things were before. I can't grasp that. So I dang sure can't grasp it now.
This is what I can't grasp. If I've learned anything, and I don't have a normal office job. Okay. I don't. But if I've learned anything in life, the people with the money make the rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those with the gold make the rules. It's been a saying for a very long time. And you're trying to tell me that there's going to be this umbrella over the 3 tours, right? LIV, PGA, and then the DP World Tour. And you're telling me that the PGA Tour is just going to get to do what it wants. And then at the high entity, whatever it's going to be called, the PGA Tour is going to control that. And they're going to tell the people that are putting up all the money what is going to happen and what they're going to do. That don't make no sense from everything I've been able to gather from life. Maybe I'm misreading the press release, but I read it like 10 times. I don't foresee that happening the way that it's kind of laid out in the release.
I don't either. I don't know.
And how are the 3 tours, right? They're all going to run each other separately. But how's it all going to fit together?
I don't know.
How are the tours going to cross over? Like, are PGA guys going to be able to go over to LIV? Like, which one's going to be the premier tour?
I don't know. I guess I assumed, like, for the time being, is that the LIV Golf guys play out their contract in LIV Golf, but also like play the majors and the big events, like where they want the best field. But I don't know. Maybe LIV Golf has an invitational where some PGA guys are invited. I don't know.
I know this.
I think they'll probably have like the ranking, like, because that's been the point of contention. Like, somehow the rankings and point system is probably going to merge for the majors, I guess. I don't know.
If you just look at it in its simplest form, it was probably a good day for golf and golf fans. We're going to get the best players playing golf against each other on the same courses. That's what we want, right? So my question is, when it comes to, one of the things in the release, like, hey, this promote and grow the game of golf. Well, what's that look like? Because if you take the 50 best players in the world and you put them on one tour and you travel them across the world, all these different places, and new people get exposed to golf, is that best for golf?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think some of the things that LIV Golf does is really good. I guess we really find out who really won this deal by whether or not PGA players are going to be able to wear shorts, right? Is that how we tell who the real winner is? Like, if they can wear shorts out there on the PGA Tour like the LIV Golf guys can. I don't know. Like, honestly, I think that the more interesting the competition is, the better. And that doesn't always necessarily mean like the best player, like the best courses, the best format. I think there's some things that LIV Golf does that I think would translate really well to the PGA Tour. That I think a lot of like the traditional people, because of the rift that was falsely created by the PGA, I think a lot of people turned their nose up at some of the things that LIV Golf were doing, but we already saw that they're changing some of their events to do it the same way, right?
Yeah.
That took about 15 minutes.
They said in the release that the team golf is going to be an emphasis moving forward.
I love the team aspect of it. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And in LIV Golf, like it hasn't had a chance to really take off because they haven't, they just don't have the TV deal and everything and the way it was split. But I think the team aspect could really take off with the PGA.
Yeah. All right. Was that your winner and loser?
Well, no, I had a loser.
I've got one last thing. I've got a prediction for pro golf.
Okay.
You don't buy the entirety of professional golf to not have a huge event in your country. And I don't know if it's going to be a fifth major or what. Like, I don't know if it's going to be the biggest purse in all of golf. There's going to be something. Maybe it's the end of the season, right? Where it's the FedEx Cup now. I don't know what it's going to be. There will be something massive in Saudi Arabia, something very significant in the sport of golf, because they just bought the damn sport. You don't buy it and then not put something massive and important in your country. You just that doesn't make any sense. It's coming. I just don't know what it's going to look like.
It's going to be an event played on floating pallets of cash in the ocean, whatever, $1 billion to the winner. Who cares?
Yeah.
Spigots never turning off. The country is like the population of California or less. And there's just like a never ending supply of money constantly going. They couldn't even spend it fast enough if they tried. It's everywhere.
Phil Mickelson went through hell, it seemed like, for a stretch there. But I'm going to give the guy his credit. He made a ton of money in the process. And he changed the sport. Now we'll see what that change ends up looking like. But Phil, I mean, he did it. He said he was going to do it, and he did it.
Yeah, and I could tell, like, friend of the show, Taylor Gooch, was really eaten up by the whole thing. Just a drink in hand on the beach by the pool. Like, what happened? What's going on out there, guys? I didn't notice anything different today. Awesome.
I think a lot of those LIV Golf guys were feeling pretty smart about the decision they made today. Oh my gosh.
Free money.
And there were some guys that were real sad.
I know. Can you imagine how many guys had like 20, 50, 75, 100 plus $1 million? Like, what do you think Rory's offer was?
Approximately $1 gajillion. I don't know.
Yeah. Incredible.
500, 250 at the least, probably.
You'd need a pry bar to get my hands off of the neck of Jay Monahan right now if I was Rory McIlroy.
Oh my God. I didn't even. They made him the moral compass. They charted him out there week after week after week. I mean, he was the messenger. And then I don't even think they told him.
And like, no, they didn't. And it's like, they forced a bunch of friends into really bad situations with one another, right? I mean, I know not all of those guys are just buddy, but a lot of them had like good relationships, and because of pressure from the top, were forced to really sever those ties. Brutal.
But at least we're going to get everybody in the Ryder Cup now. Thank God. Yeah. That's no longer an issue, right? Everyone's good. We're good. I want to see Ian Poulter's pants. Phil better be there. Everyone's available for the Ryder Cup, right? It's all in the same umbrella. Same umbrella.
Everyone is going to be there. The LIV Golf guys are just going to get there via the Flying Fortress or the Flying Nightclub or whatever the hell that thing is that they ride around in,
And Hideki Matsuyama is going to be on Spirit Airlines. Did you see that picture? Oh, no. Gosh. He was flying Spirit Airlines, Ted.
Dang.
Yeah.
Brutal.
All right, you said you had a loser. That was a lot of golf.
Yeah. Quick. The Rangers, Jacob deGrom, out, UCL surgery, no big deal. Signed a 5-year, $185 million contract and not going to be able to pitch for at least 12 months. Only got a handful of innings out of him. I don't think he's pitched since late April and going to be out for 12 months. The Rangers have been doing fine without him. Second best record in baseball right now, but that sucks whenever you make a big free agent signing like that. You're going to get a guy that's, he's already had some injury issues the last couple of years. You pile this on there. He's going to be, 2 years older into that contract, man. Sucks for the Rangers. Too bad they don't have a never-ending supply of cash like Saudi Arabia does, or maybe they do. I don't know.
Hey, good reminder, pro athletes, take the money.
Cash in.
Cash in when you can. If we've learned anything over the last 24 hours, cash in when you can. Morals be damned. I'm kidding, kind of. But, man, I want to know which guy, other than Tiger, I want to know which guy, like the money that would have meant the most to that turned it down and what the sum was. You know what I mean?
That'll come out pretty quickly, I bet.
The PGA Tour guys. That's what I want to know.
I bet a lot of guys are going to be like, let me just tell you what I turned down.
They should. I hope they all put it out there.
Yeah. Make it right.
Yeah. We'll see how they make it right. They're not going to. All the money's going to Jay Monahan and for running the new entity, apparently.
It's like we had a fund of several $100 million to make it right, and Jay Monahan took it. Like that's he took he was going to be the guy that dispersed it, and he dispersed it to himself. Never seen again.
All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
John Vance Auto Group has been serving Oklahomans for 40 years. Family owned and operated. They got 9 full service dealerships in Woodward, Miami, and Guthrie. No matter what your vehicle needs are, John Vance Auto Group has you covered. Carry domestic brands such as Ford, Lincoln, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge Ram, Jeep, and Wagoneer. John Vance Auto Group's goal is to give unequaled service and to exceed customers' expectations in every way, which is why they have their lifetime loyalty program. Here's how it works. Buy a new or used car from them. Then all you have to do is get all the manufacturer recommended maintenance done at the Vance dealership. And if something goes wrong, the components of your engine, transmission, drive, axle, or transfer unit, they will cover the repair costs. Great deal. You can browse their entire inventory or find the John Vance dealership near you at vanceautogroup.com.
And First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma, tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs. Checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all. Whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone, everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. Ladies and gentlemen, make your life easier and go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information. All right, for my winner of the week, Olympics in Oklahoma City. Did you see this, Ted?
Ooh, I did not.
Okay, so the International Canoe Federation. Yes, that is a real thing known as the ICF. Yes, the International Canoe Federation released a report, and it said Oklahoma City has a very good chance to host at least 6 events for the 2028 Summer Olympics. So you look at 2028 Olympics. Los Angeles is the host city, but I guess it would cost an estimated $100 million for them to build temporary facilities that would be satisfactory for the canoe slalom events. And according to this report, Oklahoma City and Charlotte have the facilities. They have them in place to host these events. So all that stuff that we've built along the Oklahoma River, I guess it's the perfect place to host all this stuff. I love Oklahoma City. I never in my wildest dream thought that the Olympics would be in play here. I never thought that. As much as I love this city, this is cool as hell, man. I hope it happens. Like I'm trying not to get my hopes too high. I've got some time. It's not till 2028, but this would be very, very cool.
No, it's interesting. Sounds like what you're telling me is there's things to do in Oklahoma City that you can't do in LA.
Those are the words of the International Canoe Federation.
Fascinating. Yeah. I've been led to believe we're a bunch of damn horse riding hicks here and there's nothing to do. But I guess we've got an Olympic canoeing facility. Let's hang our hats on that, baby. That sounds awesome, though. Seriously, that's really cool. 6 events, nothing to turn your nose up at. And by the time the 2028 Olympics roll around, like the big resort there on the river will be done, and you got Scissortail Park and all that stuff is right there. That's awesome. Really cool.
Can you imagine how many shirts, Olympic rings, right? And it just says OKC underneath it. Can you imagine how many of those shirts I'm going to buy?
Where do you think they put there's got to be a huge Olympic rings statue or something that goes up. Yeah. Where do you think that goes? Devon Tower on the top?
Yeah, like a cake topper?
Lit up in natural gas forever, for eternity on top of Devon Tower.
Funded by Saudi Arabia.
Funded in part by Saudi Arabia. Yeah. The flaming rings.
Yeah, you got to put it somewhere. Like you got to display it prominently, right?
Yeah.
It would just be very, very cool. And I looked it up. Only 3 cities in the United States have hosted Summer Olympics events. St. Louis, LA, and Atlanta. And now the International Olympic Committee realized that these host cities shouldn't be spending unbelievable amounts of money to build things so that they can host every event.
Build things that they're never going to use again, where you have like these big ghost cities and stuff.
Yeah, right. So they finally realized that didn't need to happen. So the fact that Oklahoma City could now be on that short list of cities in the United States that have hosted Summer Olympic events, like that's so cool to me. I don't know. I mean, I know I was born here. I know I live here now, but it just feels like a massive deal.
Yeah. I think it's awesome. You got me stoked, man. You know, I'm an Olympics guy, big Olympics guy.
Listen, we're going to watch some canoe slalom if it's here. Me and you, pal.
Damn straight we are.
Yeah. Yeah. Olympics. We'll do a report, live report.
We could be, you know how they send just to raise awareness, they send a couple of local people out there to do the events, the dorky helmets on and stuff. Yeah, we'll do the double canoe down the rapids.
Yeah. Awesome. Live report as they go through. You and I just get bounced around in one of those things. Oh, all right. For my loser of the week, thought about going with Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if that was a bit or not, but you got to let Travis Kelce say whatever he was going to say at the presidential podium. You just got to let it happen, Mahomes. Come on, man. How funny was that clip?
He's like the younger brother or I don't know, drunk uncle or someone that you've always got to keep your eye on, right? Always. Yeah. That was hilarious.
Yeah, but loser of the week, Florida Panthers. Ooh. Got smacked in game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final, 7-2. They are now down 0-2 to the Vegas Golden Knights, and Vegas jumped all over them, 4-0. I don't know a ton about hockey, but things just seem a little too easy for Vegas, right? It may be things drastically change now that the series is headed to Florida, but Vegas just looks bigger. They look way faster. They just look better. They're getting all kinds of clean looks. I mean, Aiden Hill has been fantastic in the net for him. It's just Bobrovsky looks like he's having a terrible time in the net for the Panthers. Dude is under assault. He's under siege by pucks. It seems like the entire game. It's just, I'm I'm afraid we're getting a bit of a dud of a Stanley Cup final, Ted. It's unfortunate.
You know, part of me feels bad. The other part of me can't stop laughing my ass off that Canadians are the ones that really like hockey. And when's the last time, like in the 90s, is the last time a Canadian team won the Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
Vegas, it's like, throw a new team out in Las Vegas. What's the worst that could happen? And they've been amazing ever since. There's no hockey fans in Vegas, and they get a team like the Vegas Knights going to be hoisting the Stanley Cup. That is not what fandom is about. But it does make me feel bad for the Canadians that live and die on the sport.
The 1993 Montreal Canadiens, the last Stanley Cup final winner, based in Canada. But the hockey crazed town of Las Vegas is about to have a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, where it was like 110 degrees today. Yeah, that place.
That has to be frustrating. Now, I will say, the Bruins, they had, what was that series against the Panthers?
The best
3-1
record in hockey or something, didn't they?
Yeah, they had the best regular season ever in the history of the NHL.
Wow.
And the Panthers came back. They were down 3-1 in that series. So maybe too early to bury the Panthers, but man, they've been getting whooped, dude. Whooped.